Okay, go
Oh,
ahead. What do you want to say? Hi.
what we'll be sharing, sir, is the final report in presentation format first. Okay. But also we have the reels already.
Oh, good.
Okay. We just want your comments and suggestions, or if we need to further improve before we submit finally.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Archie, do you want to present the first part?
Sorry, sir. Paano ba? Nagda-drive kasi.
Okay. Archie is still on the way.
Good
He's
driving, yeah.
driving.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let me present, then Jello will show the reels later.
Okay.
Okay, for the presentation highlights, sir, it follows the outline we employed or we observed in the final paper also. So
Okay.
the definition of a problem following the introduction, the research or the study goals and objectives, and
Mm-hmm.
then basically number 3 and 4, we already presented it in group
Last time.
presentation 3. Then we updated the data collection part in which instead of computing still the walking speed, we set it as an input 1.2 meter per second.
Yep.
So we assume that variable instead of computing it based on the pedestrian count and assume effective walking width.
Hmm.
So right now, maybe we have better
Hmm.
numbers to show. And then as to the methodology, again, it's the AHP.
Okay.
We updated the values per criteria, and
Mm-hmm.
then we updated also the alternatives, putting the pedestrian underpass as the fifth alternative,
Hmm.
as commented on the last time,
Last
sir.
time. Okay.
Then 7, 8, and 9 would be the highlights, conclusion, and recommendations.
Okay.
Okay. So the problem, sir, again, we noted that there is an issue, possibly issue on safety because pedestrians are crossing
Hmm.
on sections that are more accessible to them instead of using, for example, the pedestrian underpass, which is
Hmm.
basically underutilized. And
Oh,
then,
there is. There is
yes,
underpass.
I don't know, pedestrian overpass rather. There is an overpass, but it is not utilized.
Okay.
And then walkways are narrow and discontinuous. This pertains to the sidewalks, and then there are barriers to the sidewalk. Basically, it's fenced.
Hmm.
And then pedestrians are often compelled to traverse unsafe and unmarked crossing points. This is basically shown on
Hmm.
the bottom picture here. Okay, as to the goals and objectives, we want to identify and evaluate the most suitable pedestrian infrastructure improvements that will enhance pedestrian safety, comfort, and density. So basically, we're enumerating three of the factors that
Hmm.
we considered in this study. So in bullets, we have to evaluate the current condition of pedestrian and flow dynamics. So we model it using basic flow flow density relations,
Hmm.
and then we also use IFN to validate the not just the crossing movements but also the longitudinal movements along sidewalks.
Hmm.
And then identify major obstacles to pedestrian movement and assess potential safety hazards. So qualitative assessment based on field observation. Assess and prioritize alternative design schemes. This one is the the point we did with the AHP.
Hmm.
Then simulate these alternatives using those metrics and evaluate their cost, benefit, and acceptability. Acceptability basically subjective and quantitative for the other factors. And then develop actionable policy and infrastructure recommendations to improve pedestrian conditions and safety. So this will be answered hopefully in the
Yeah.
conclusions and recommendations.
Hmm.
Okay, we've shown it on the third presentation, sir. The base scenario is that government is central to everything. This is
Hmm.
also highlighted in Reel 1. So we're showing that the cardinal and premier network government is dominant in this base scenario. because they are the policy drivers, and basically the policies influence the movement along the system. Now we aspire the scenario for the alternative such that pedestrians are central to the system because they are the focus of this study. So we want a more balanced power dynamics.
So how do you change?
Yes, sir. We introduce feedback loops between pedestrians and the other nodes in the system, while maintaining the influence of government, as of course shown on the diagonal lines emanating from the government node as still. As to the strength of influencer, the capacity is all one. So no relative points or relative differences in the capacity matrix. Okay, for the AHP, sir, the factors and the criteria that we use. So 4 factors, 1 to 3 would be quantitative as defined by the units of measures shown on screen. Conduciveness would be rank-based. So it will be solely based on the pairwise comparison. Alternatives, we have 5, sir. Before the visible pavement markings as our alternative 5, we combined it with provision of pausing signals with timer and call it as alternative 2, behavioral nudges. You just want to influence pedestrian movement or behavior without that very hard infrastructure interventions. So unlike this, we widen the crosswalk, you relocate the crosswalk, or provide refuge island, and then the last alternative, pedestrian underpass, which is the most environmentally demanding. Okay, sir. And then as to the data collection, only pedestrian counts were conducted primary collection. Then for the other factors, we use secondary data. For example, as to the percent reduction in crashes, based on each type of alternative we presented, we searched for the appropriate literature saying which percentages or range of percentages that particular intervention can decrease the crash statistic. So we just use RRL for this one. Now for parametric cost estimates, there are prevailing costs published, for example, DPWH for underpasses, and then other sources like the FHWA for the other alternatives, sir. So you compute it based on, for example, DPWH posted it as per linear meter. So to be able to compute it to cost per square meter, you assumed a value for the typical width. For example, the underpass, the typical right of way is 20 to 30 meters. And then you assume the cost per linear meter, you divide it by the typical right of way. So you get the peso per square meter for the underpass. Then similar approach for the other alternatives. What's unique is alternative using cross timers and visible pavements, because first you need the lump sum amount, and then you divide it by the total area of the pavement marking. That is assumed. So you get the peso per square meter. So that's the only unique computation on those 5 alternatives. Again, sir, this is the summary of the data, and then the nodes we assumed. So we have A to J, so 10 points of interest along the intersection.
Okay.
And then
which one is the market? J.
sir?
Which one is the market?
On the right side, sir. Right side.
D.
Wait.
This one?
C and D. CD area.
CD. Okay.
CD area. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the crossing here. This is the most commercial section of this intersection.
Okay. And then
Okay, on average, sir, across all these crossings, we observed 2,370. But for example, to each crosswalks, the highest would be A to B, that is around 700, 800. Sorry, 700, around 700 pedestrians per hour crossing to and from A and B. But on the totality, all the crossings, 2,370
in 1 hour,
in 1 hour.
they are not the same pedestrian. They are unique, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's quite a lot.
Doc Cardi, like me add for that. On the left side, the road there, there is a three bus stations and jeepney stations on the
Where?
left side. Yeah, it's not reflected on the map, but it's near around 500 meters. So the people
Ah,
coming from there, crossing, going to the market, because at the right side, it's already the population or the town going to their homes already. So
I,
that's why they're crossing that area from the buses. There's a couple of bus stations and jeepney.
so
So
in
On
that
the
this
left
left
side.
side.
yeah,
Yes.
left side, sir. Yeah, yes.
Hmm, I see.
So some of the demand for this movement, sir,
So
were
that
emanating
should be
from
from A to
determining.
C should be the highest. Isn't that correct? A.
It's
That's
B to
strange.
A as the highest in terms of average, sir. The
What?
movement from
I
B to
thought
A.
from point A is the, what is that? The station. But C, A to C is the smallest. What? Only 51.
Mhm.
Uh, okay, sir.
B to A
The uh,
is the
on
highest.
the farthest left side, there's a station there. Some people are most of the people are crossing A to B, B to A. So that's
Oh,
why, yeah, they're going northern or southern.
okay.
Yes. Yeah. That's the observation, sir, on that area. On
Hmm.
the right side, the market area, people are going to their homes. The town area is
Mhm.
located at the right side. Fortunately, that also the area of the marketplace. There's a market, fish market and meat market at that area.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Maybe, sir, to explain that behavior, the movement from B to D and D to B would be the one catching those movement from
Maybe because
the
you
terminal.
divide this one. For example, from A to C and then F to E, they are actually the same destination, but you divide into three areas. That F to E means they are illegally crossed in here.
Yes,
That's
sir.
that's correct,
Yes, sir.
sir. There's a barrier, a metal barrier, as Sir Arvin mentioned. There's a small space. They are illegally crossing or jaywalking. So
Okay,
that's
so
why we divide that.
if you total from A to point C, including F and H, that will add, right? That will be the highest, right? Is that correct? For example, A plus F plus H, and then going to G, E, and C,
A to C,
right?
A to C
That is
plus F to E,
71 plus,
F to E plus H to G.
oh,
That's only 145, sir. It's still the
still small.
movement from B to D is greater, which is
I see.
216.
Okay, okay.
So more on the density between B to D and D to B.
Okay.
They prefer it, maybe they are preferring it on the shorter end,
Mm-hmm.
on the south side more than the north side. But it also interesting why they put
They're not
the
they're not using
overpass on
the
the north
overpass.
side
Yeah.
Okay.
when the density is greater than in the south side.
Hmm. I think if we can investigate further where they actually come from and where they go, at this point, uh, we only get this data, but this is only rough within the intersection. So we don't know what's the actual destination and the actual uh, attraction and destination.
So it might be part of the recommendation to further investigate, sir, the full trajectory of each
Right.
pedestrian.
So that we will know. Anyway, continue, please.
Yeah, but yes, sir, we'll put that on the recommendation.
Oh,
Okay, next part, these are the qualitative observations on field. So the weather is fair for all the 5 to 6 hour window we
oh,
collected. So these are different days of the week. We have Friday, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday as counting days. Then we observe heavy vehicle traffic because this is an afternoon peak hour, not just for the pedestrians, but also for the vehicle. Then traffic signals are only applicable for vehicular traffic. Hence, there is no signal for pedestrian crossing. And that's why it's part of our...
why? If this is red in here, A and B, okay, and C and D, I don't know what is the facing. If they are red, so they can pass here, right? They can put this pedestrian crossing in A, B, and C, D.
Yes, sir.
Right?
It's actually existing, those zebra crossings.
Yeah, so in that case, no problem. It's supposed to have uh,
When those legs are on red, they can safely cross.
right.
But for A to C and B to D, the crosswalks are not very much defined. There are no
Yeah, A to
good
C is not
lines.
allowed to cross, so you can put uh, barrier
Yes, sir.
so that they will be forced to use this pedestrian bridge. How long is this bridge from that intersection? The
Uh,
distance? Yes.
the distance
Yes. How
from
long?
A to... Oh,
Sir, let me answer that. From 8 to the what you call this
It's
the
overpass.
bridge is around 25 meters long.
only 25-meter.
Yeah,
Oh,
25. Yeah, it's quite near actually. Later on the video and the photos, you will
yeah.
see the
In that case,
the
you can block this area. You put barrier so that they cannot cross.
Actually, they did that with the south side, sir. On B to
How about
D,
this one in A and between A
there's no
to F?
bar. There might be a barrier, sir, but there is
there's a hole.
there's a gap. Yeah, yeah. There's a gap there
Okay,
that you
so
can pass through.
then just fill the gap. That's cheap and
Yeah,
I mean
that's...
for their own safety, right? That one. Because this is four lanes. Eh.
But apparently, sir, they don't want to cross the... There's very low usage because the overpass is quite high, 2 stories high.
Okay, so
Just the
maybe the
cross.
condition of this one is not that good, so we can improve the overpass or you create an underpass. That's another option.
Mm.
Yes.
And then somehow, instead of the north side, maybe put it on the more dense area.
Oh, and then
Okay, sir. So I've mentioned it already. No pedestrians were crossing the existing footbridge. On the
there
videos,
is, but not so many, right?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You
And
you
then,
put numbers there, 50 or something.
despite a green signal for vehicles, some pedestrian continue to cross the roadway. So still on the zebra crossings, they still jaywalk during the green times of vehicular traffic.
Oh,
But this is peak hour. The traffic is not uh, moving as fast.
hmm.
So they opt to... They think that it's safe to cross when it's not. Okay,
Oh,
there are local traffic enforcers seen in the area assisting the
okay.
traffic and pedestrian flow in the intersection.
Yeah, that is case by case at that point that you observe only.
Yes, sir. That's correct. It's a 4-day observation.
Right.
Yeah, and 1 hour peak hour in the afternoon.
It's reported, sir, also under our data collection and limitations part on the
Okay.
paper.
And then,
Okay. Next, sir, again, we assume that the average walking speed is 1.2 meter per second. And
okay.
then recompute the spacing and density based on that. The flow rate is just pax per pedestrians per minute per meter. Meter is the effective width of walking, meaning not really the pedestrian crossing width, but the effective walking. And based on literature, that's around 1.2 to
Yeah.
1.
So what is the LOS in this case? Very small.
It's still at A,
Still
sir.
A, right?
Still at A.
Exactly. So density is very small. So I think LOS is A. Is that
Yes,
correct?
sir.
Yes,
Mm.
sir. A.
Yeah, A
Mm.
to B, sir.
A.
On the on the densest region, which is A to B and B to A, sir, that's LOSB already in terms of spacing.
Okay.
What we presented here is in feet, not yet in meters.
Okay. So anyway, this is light.
Yes, sir. In terms of LOS, still light.
Yes. Okay.
So the main issue is more on their behavior that is quite unsafe.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, easy to just put a barrier.
Okay. On this one, sir, we just did the IFN. So for the
Okay.
first row, it's just the inputs. You have the capacity based on the 33 persons per minute per meter. So that's LOSC based on HCM.
Okay.
So you define the capacity for each nodes there. And then the link lengths are based on Google Maps.
Okay.
So, and then walking speed, it's
1.2.
assumed all at 1.2.
Wait, this capacity is come from
Sir, we assumed LOSC at 33 person per minute per meter.
LOSC.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Because LOSF, that's tightly packed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in that case, very small.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then using the capacity matrix, capacity to ideal flow. So you get the
Yes.
left part of the second row. So that's in
Then
terms
you
of
need to
matrix, that's the
calibrate.
2 to 1.
Right.
And then the real flow, we put it based on the data collected on the nodal pairs that have linked flows. So
Okay.
A, B, C. Then what we did, sir, is we compute the scaling on the
Yeah.
real flow between the ideal flow, and
Yeah.
we get the maximum.
Right.
And then apply that scalings to the ideal flow computed earlier. That's on the third row. And then we
I
get this
I
ideal flow.
cannot understand why your ideal flow is full.
Sir, this one.
Okay. This is not full because you put 0 with 0, 0.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. Because there are no movements between, for example, D going to A. There is no direct link between D to A.
Okay. Okay.
That's diagonal on the junction maps.
And then what is the congestion?
Yeah, I haven't computed it, sir. But since it's LOSA, sir, that's below 0.2.
Okay.
So the 9 divided by the 33,
Right.
if I'm gonna compute that,
Very
9
small.
by 30.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
So
basically
in
that's
that case,
27%.
in terms of based on your data, so density is not really high, even
Yes, sir.
though number of persons is a lot.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's correct, sir.
And then just an output on the IFN, sir. It's just the pedestrian density, which is
Oh,
IFN divided by walking speed. And then time to cross, it's based on speed and link length.
density.
So on the maximum time to cross, sir, they would need 15 seconds to cross.
Huh?
15 seconds to cross, sir. At an assumed speed of 1.2 meter per second.
15 seconds for. Yeah, okay.
So in terms of the timer, we can set that to between 10 to 15, dependent on the link length.
Some of people are very old, so you can set 0.8 or
Okay.
1 rather than
For assigning the timer. So
uh,
we use the minimum, which is 0.8. Okay,
right.
sir.
And then
Moving on, sir, we subject it to the AHP.
okay.
So basically, what we've shown on the IFN computations and the density, speed, flow rate relations is just this criterion. The first one, which is pedestrian density. Pedestrian safety, as I mentioned, is based on secondary data. Cost of intervention, too, based on secondary data. Parametric estimates based on what was posted by different agencies. And
Okay.
then convenience, sir, is purely subjective. So we use pairwise method. So that's level one, the criteria factor. Level two would be the alternative, sir.
Okay.
This would be the study framework.
Okay.
So then we define, we scored them based on factors per alternative, sir. So on the density, as we've shown,
Hmm.
less dense if you widen the crosswalk, because you effectively widen, you increase the area.
Hmm.
Okay, and then it's the same if you just paint the existing crosswalks and then put timers. The density won't change. So 1.137 is still 0.137. And
So
then for
A125 is the alternative, right? Did you
yes,
also compare between factors? Do you have the
yes, sir, we did that. This one, between factors, this is the comparison normalized matrix and priority vector.
okay.
So on the bottom, 21.3% weight for spacing or density,
Okay.
50.6% weight for pedestrian safety, 7.8% for cost,
Okay. Okay.
and then 20.3% for conduciveness.
So safety is the highest.
Yes, sir. As we've noted, because it's the
Yeah, okay.
behavioral aspect that is more concerning
Right. Okay.
than the pedestrians being tightly packed, because as we know, it's LOS A to
Okay,
B.
so the cost is the lowest.
Yes, sir. Assuming that cost is
Minimum.
not really the factor, but
Okay.
later on, into the recommendation, we want to delve on that still.
Hmm.
Okay, so the pedestrian safety, sir, based on literature, we noted that basically widening the crosswalks and A3, what's A3 again? Relocating them
Hmm.
would yield the same decrease in crash frequency. So around 18, so 17.5. And then according to some US studies or Canadian studies, 39% reduction if you just effectively put a refuge island.
Hmm.
And then close would be the pedestrian underpass or overpass, because you're basically grade separating the flow of
Hmm.
pedestrians to the vehicle. So they're almost tied in terms of crash reduction, around 39% and then about 38%. So the cost of interventions are definitely the underpass would be the most costly.
Hmm.
So that's around 30,000 pesos, 29,300 pesos per square meter.
Okay.
And then the refuge island, being it less of area, albeit less of area,
Hmm.
uh, that's around 1,600 per square meter. And then less than 1,000 for the other three
Hmm.
alternatives. Highlighting that just painting your markings and putting pedestrian
I know.
timers as A2 is the least costly.
Hmm.
Around 130 pesos per square
Yes,
meter.
but your cost factor, priority factor is the lowest.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That
And
case,
then, so
what's the
we do the
final
pairwise
result?
comparison, sir, per factor, per
Uh-huh.
alternative. So for factor one, sir, this is the per alternative priority vector. Factor one, top would be alternative 5, which is
Okay.
pedestrian underpass. This is for the greater density. Meaning, if you have a greater density environment, pedestrian underpass or overpass
Hmm.
would be preferred.
Hmm.
And then for factor 2, which is
Factor two
safety,
is safety.
safety, sir.
They are
4
all
and 5 we are almost tied. So this is refuge island and
right.
underpass. Next, factor 3, sir, this is the cost, the least priority among the factors.
Yes, of course.
So alternative 2, which is the least costly, would be the highest at 57.6% priority.
yeah.
Then followed by alternative 3. You just
I think very nice now.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
because this is the most costly, so it become very small.
Yes, sir, in terms of priority.
Ah,
Because what we did is just use the values per alternative
yeah.
factor as ratios, sir, in
Right.
quoting the pairwise
This is
comparison.
very
That's
comparison.
why also the consistency index and ratio for that factors are
Yes,
same.
it's only become zero. Okay.
But
So
for the subjective ratings, sir, we just strive to get as less than 10% as possible.
okay.
So on this one, sir, alternative 4 is the highest, refuge island, because again, if they be the pedestrians as their behavior uh, do not perceive as conducive those grade separated infrastructures.
How do you define conduciveness?
Okay, so let's go back. Here, sir, it's just a subjective ranking.
And when you put the values in the ASP, how do you define that?
Here, sir, just the subjective ranking based on perceived degree of comfort and convenience. So more on these values are just perceptive. So we assume, sir, the point of view of the pedestrians.
Oh, but you are the one who filled up this one, right?
Yes, sir, because it's an assumption. But on actual cases, we should do it on a survey basis to get their
Okay.
perception.
Okay. And then,
Yes,
and
sir.
what's the final result of this ASP?
Okay, sir. As to the final result, alternative 4 is the highest priority at 26.39%, followed by alternative 5. So that's refuge island over pedestrian underpass.
So it seems your subjective opinion matters a lot.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, overall consistency ratio, sir, is at 5.02%.
Oh, okay.
Okay, then we subject that to
Sensitivity.
sensitivity analysis, sir.
Okay.
This one is the one we promised to do
Right.
after the third presentation.
Yeah,
So
that's
for pedestrian density, sir, as you know, as we go higher, the refuge island prioritization goes low.
okay.
So meaning, since as you go with high density environments, grid separation is the way to go. So we expect that for pedestrian underpass that the prioritization would go up. And then what's critical here is at 30%, you have a rank reversal. Go beyond 30%. And also at 60%. If you have 60%, the behavioral nudges, which is the least costly one, goes second. And then now the refuge island just goes third.
So the widening is flat.
Yes, sir. So it's always at 15% prioritization, whatever happens.
Okay.
So yeah, quite interesting on that one. It's insensitive to this density. Okay, and then another one that is insensitive is pedestrian safety. So refuge island is ranked higher than pedestrian underpass. As we noted, it's 39% between 37.5%. But on this one, that slope is maintained. So no rank reversal at all.
I see. So
And
the
then,
tangent matters, no?
yes, sir. And then for cost of intervention, sir, this is what quite expected. So the most costly would dip down, and then the least costly would go up as you put more prioritization on the weight of that criteria or criterion. So behavioral nudges would top the list, Should we put that beyond 20%?
So this is, I don't know why this is so high and in the positive tangent. Behavior nudges. What do you actually do in behavioral nudges?
Sir, it's just repainting of the pavement marking and the
Okay.
pedestrian timers. So we
That's
don't hard
why
infra at all.
that's why it affect the cost so much.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got that.
And then lastly, for convenience, sir. So as we see, as we go higher on the convenience prioritization, pedestrian underpasses.
This is interesting. Can you see the left picture here? The green line, which is relocation by crosswalk, is
Yes,
also
sir.
positive tangent.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this is also cheap.
Yes, sir.
So this one become very high, the pink one, because this is the cheapest probably.
Yeah, it's actually we expected that one.
Right, and then
But the large gap between those least costly effect alternatives or it's not, that's the one we didn't expect because that's quite high a gap,
yes.
almost more than 10%.
Well, it's not just a gap. I think the tangent.
Yeah, the
The
slope of
tangent is almost the slope is almost the same.
because they are valued at close to 400 peso per square meter both.
I mean, between the refuge island and pedestrian underpass,
Sir.
this one, the blue pedestrian refuge islands and pedestrian underpass, they almost have the same.
Refuge. Yes, sir. Almost the same. Because in terms of cost, sir, in terms of
The
the
tangent, yeah, in terms of
slope,
the
yes, sir.
tangent, yes.
They are almost the same sensitivity.
Hmm.
But on the still, the refuge island in terms of cost would score
Yeah,
higher than
of course, yes.
pedestrian underpass overall.
Right. Okay. Good.
Okay.
I mean, your result is very reasonable. That's
Yes, sir. Especially on the cost.
right.
But for convenience, sir, again, this is swayed by the subjective rating.
Yes. So this
So
one I don't know. So you need to question yourself.
yeah, we need to pursue the survey. But we don't have time, sir, to do
It's
this.
okay. It's okay.
Maybe if we hired someone, local
Right.
surveyors, we can
That's
do this.
okay. Yeah. And then
And then, sir, just highlighting the findings, overall weighted score for the best performing alternative based on HHP is
this refuge
26.7.
island is in the four lanes highway, right?
Yes, sir, on the 4 lane. Definitely.
Northern and southern parts, sir, of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so just to note its pros: 39% improvement in safety or reduction in crashes, high conduciveness rating subjectively, and then
Putting fences is not in their alternative.
yeah, sir. So maybe we should add that, sir.
Oh, why you did not put
Sir, if you remember on our second presentation, you have a strong opinion against the putting of fences or restricting pedestrian behavior, pedestrian crossings or movement.
if we put in the, I thought that is very long, but this is only 25 meters, you said.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Okay, sir. Maybe we can swap that with alternative 2 because alternative 2 is
Alternative 2 is only painting.
yes, sir. It's just repainting. So we can add that component. So the cost would be different. Okay, sir.
I mean, in terms of cost is not that expensive, but in terms of behavior change, probably a lot. No?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it also falls under behavior not just because you're they call this.
If you force them to walk like 100 meters,
Yes,
I
sir.
don't think
Yes, sir.
that's nice.
So you're restricting the movement, so thereby influencing the behavior still.
Right. But it's only 25 meters, you said, so it's nothing.
Yes, sir. I just have to check the costing of the fences.
Oh,
Yeah. We can check that one, Sir
yeah.
Arvin. We have so many references for the fences.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll update this, sir, based on that one. Basically,
Can you see the problem? When you put fences, that means if you also put refuge island, but you put fences, isn't that
uh,
irony?
yes, sir. That's why the alternative for Refuge Island, there would be no fences.
Oh, okay. But if you don't have fences, right now it's only a small gap. That's why you have that much. If you don't have fences and you have refuge island, is that it encourages more people to cross?
Yes, sir. But still, there is a Refuge Island. So they're just crossing at most 2 lanes, which is
Okay.
safer to cross than a multi-lane highway. Maybe there would be a reduction in the percent reduction in crash.
How about the traffic signals? So it's specialized for pedestrian.
There's not existing, sir. Oh, you mean the
In your
existing?
alternative, is
No
there any
for
alternative?
no for pedestrians, sir. Yes,
Not
sir.
in.
We can
Ah,
also put that with the pedestrian refuge island.
Yes.
Yeah.
okay.
Basically, we're optimizing the alternatives.
Native. Optimizing na yan. Optimization.
Mm.
Right.
We can
Hello,
combine
Sir Vin.
elements to each alternative.
Go ahead,
Hello.
Jello.
Uh, isn't pedestrian lights included as part of a behavioral nudge?
Hmm. So I don't know. Can we go back to the map?
Map, sir.
Hmm. Map. Okay, here. You said from A to H is only 25 meter. Is that correct? From
Sorry,
point
sorry.
A, from point A to
A
point
to
H is only
okay.
25 meter.
Sorry, it's not uploading on my map.
Sorry. Is that correct?
A to no,
RT,
sorry.
this is
No.
the
A to F is 25. A to
yep,
H, that is longer. That is around 45 to 50, sir. Mm-mm.
yeah,
A to F
B,
is 25.
25, 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
So, my concern is you you make a pedestrian bridge here, and then you want to make a refuge island here, then you are practically uh, contradicting yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, how about you put the refuge island in between this one in the
The south
south
leg.
part?
Yes, sir. South
The
leg.
refuge island is in the southern part, and then you allow this crossing P to D, right? But you disallow crossing in the northern part here because there is a pedestrian bridge already.
Restrict A to C and E to F.
Correct. Restrict A to H. You restrict and then restrict from C to G, right? But
Okay.
you
Mm-mm.
put what is this? The zebra cross here between PD
Yeah, the refuge island would be there.
In
in
the southern,
between.
on the southern part.
Yes.
I have a conceptual. I did a conceptual map.
Oh,
In the recommendation there, you can see
okay.
maybe may conceptual dyan eh. Sa last part yata. Recommendation.
Uh,
So Doc Cardi can see the
Here.
conceptual.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one.
Yes, that will be the conceptual, sir.
Yeah, correct. So, but this one,
Yeah.
the north, no.
So the northern part no more. No more. The southern part only. All right.
Yeah.
Yes, because
Yeah,
So
okay.
that it would
you already have the
the
bridge.
investment for the pedestrian overpass would not be in vain.
Exactly. Because
All
Okay.
right.
if you already have the bridge and then you still put underpass or zebra cross, that contradict yourself, right? Is that correct or not? I
Mm.
mean, in terms of game theory, this is like you
Yeah.
Okay. All
But
right.
it's not paying off, sir. Having the pedestrian overpass is not paying off.
Oh, so why you are building overpass, but you are also put zebra cross here, so you are contradicting yourself. Hmm. So, but this one is correct. In the what's that? Southern part, right?
Yeah, southern part. Yeah, that
Okay.
one.
Then you
Okay.
put middle in here. You have refuge island. That's something like this. That's correct.
So what I'm getting, sir, here is that we detail the description of each alternative.
Hmm.
It's just not just to restrict it on one type of intervention. We can
Correct.
combine interventions for
So
alternative.
combine intervention, and then you put that into one scenario. So name it scenario one, scenario two is okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that scenario one consists of many
And
Alternative.
then
yeah, alternative.
just so these combinations won't contradict each other. Okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, contradiction.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, sir. And then just the recommendations, sir. So on the policy,
Hmm.
it's based on the data analysis we presented. So since Refuge Island would be the priority, so the policy is to institutionalize those kinds of design.
Hmm.
And then, but this would change if we updated the
Yeah, is it?
definition of the alternatives. But still, conducting stakeholder engagement would be a policy recommendation. It would be still there because pedestrians should be at the center based on our
That one I want to see the detail. I did not look at the detail on your first IFN, where the pedestrian is the center. What
Yes, sir.
change did you make actually?
Sir.
The first part.
This
Okay,
one.
that one, yes. If you can highlight the changes compared to the previous slide, right?
We put something red.
Yeah.
The changes in red.
Yeah, so that I will
Yeah.
know which actually changed.
Sir, basically on the first one, the pattern
This
is
is this is already two-way, except this one. Okay, and then
so we put more interactions that are to the pedestrians. Before, sir, the interaction with pedestrians are just establishment, facilities, and government.
okay. So now come back to us. So I want to see when you add something, right? What is the actual action that you will do for that additional links in here?
Okay. How this feedback loop put
Yes,
it the alternatives. Okay,
in
sir.
the real world, how do you do? For example, which line you want to add, for example, between
Sir, before it's just pedestrian, government, and establishments. Now we have policy feedback from
okay, so
pedestrians,
that is
pedestrian with
easy.
media, and
So
pedestrian
question,
with facilities.
how about this one?
Yes, sir.
Media and pedestrian. So how do you do in reality? What kind of action, what kind of policy so that it
Yes,
will
sir.
happen?
Community feedback, we're thinking of that.
Mm.
Allowing the pedestrian to give their feedback, and then it would be considered in policy decisions, and then
Okay,
yeah,
in that
those
case,
improvement
can
of
you be
facilities.
more specific? So is there any action or any way for the pedestrian to have that access, for example?
Okay, sir. We're gonna
Something
brains.
that controllable, right? Meaning, yes, this is what you want, aspire. Yeah, I understand the meaning. This is what you need to make, but how to make that happen, right? So to establish that link, you get this correct. This is like the guide because IDFlow is practically the guide for us to make policy, right? But
Yes.
once you know, oh, this is the link that I want, okay, then we start to think how to make this thing happen, right? For example, the media and the pedestrian, how the media will be interested for that. And then the pedestrian to media, how they can report. Is there any maybe certain numbers that pedestrian can just report, or I don't know. So
Okay,
is there any
sir.
way
The group will
One,
yeah,
sir.
discuss
just
on
think,
that one.
yes, think about because otherwise it will just become idea, right? But if we want to make the idea into reality, then we need to think, right? Okay, I know that this is the one that missing. Yeah. Okay, in that case, how to make this missing part, missing link here to become reality? So
Mm.
what kind of
What step?
alternative,
Mm.
yeah, alternative action, or
Mm.
maybe some tools that we need to provide. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Oh,
On
sir.
that point, sir, we put that on the policy recommendations.
Yes, yes.
And then for some of
Like you
it,
said,
if it's in infra related, sir, we'll put it as part of the description of alternatives.
yes, yes.
Okay,
So
sir.
this one you add facility to pedestrian. Is that the one that you mentioned in ASP a while ago?
Sir?
This link from facility to pedestrian.
Yes, sir.
So that is this one. This five alternative is the one that you put there. Is that correct? I mean, there is something that you need to make your links in that policy IFN so that it will happen like that, right? Otherwise, it's just an idea. You know the direction, but you did not implement that direction. So, what is the policy recommendation or the strategy in order to make that happen? I think if just mention only this, just idea is okay.
Yes,
But
sir. Yes, sir.
at
Yes,
least
sir. I think we can put it, Sir Arvin, in the the
In
policy
the policy recommendations, sir.
yes,
Yes, sir.
Here.
Another slide, maybe.
right, right.
Okay. And then for research, sir, since we did not do the full-blown
Yes.
cost-benefit
Okay.
analysis, for further research, we should do that. Then another bullet should be the survey for subjective.
Yeah, yeah.
That should be done.
Okay.
FGD or KII on that one. And
Okay.
then monitor behavioral impacts or model post-implementation first.
Right.
And then use advanced simulation for future growth planning because it's just the base scenario. We didn't
Okay.
use time-based analysis.
Yes.
So it's just static. And
Okay.
then evaluate infrastructure longevity. So put it on the cost function also.
Oh,
Cost
what
function.
happened? The bridge is old?
Mhm.
Is
Actually,
it?
it's under construction.
Oh,
The overpass.
I see.
Okay, and then we just want to show that we're
Okay,
proud of
cool.
it. We already did the real
Yeah,
search.
yeah. It's okay.
But based on the changes that we can still effect between today and Friday, maybe some of these figures would change.
Okay.
And then that's why.
So, this one you put in public.
It's already in TikTok.
It's already in the sir, TikTok.
Okay.
Already in TikTok.
Okay.
Let's say, sir, we try this one.
Okay.
Sir.
Follow for part 3 where we put our options to test and
Wait.
crossing.
What is this alternative?
No sound. Is there a sound?
No sounds.
Okay.
Hmm. What is ASP? What happened? Hmm? It stopped?
Kanina, merong sound. Merong
Oh,
sound.
talaga? Sa
Sir.
akin, wala.
Sir, you're still muted.
Hello,
Sometimes
Doc.
it crash.
Sir?
Crash. Yeah.
Automatically crash. I don't know why.
It's okay, sir.
Maybe it's because it's close to 9 p.m. already.
It's 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 it's
Okay,
beyond service.
I will see the your reel later. Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
So if you, I think your presentation is in general is very good. So
Thank you, Doc.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
there's
So
no. Okay. Anyway, you can put these links in Moodle.
yes, sir.
So
Uh, maybe we can just show this, sir.
yes.
Yeah, for appreciation, sir, for your
Okay,
appreciation.
you can show which one.
Real 3, the last one,
We'll
I
read
think.
the last one.
Okay, the
The
Okay.
last
last
one,
one.
yeah.
Did you show your concept a while ago, Archie? The one
Sir?
that in the middle have in the
The,
video you put the concept that you put.
I think it's in real
The real one, sir. That's the
real
real
one, sir.
one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we should
Is
start
cars
here.
it? Is actually cars?
Hmm. Let us see. Wow.
Our studies show that most people cross right near it. However, finding the
Oh, what happened? Is this real?
Yes, sir. That's the real photo, the real situation right now. That's
Because they
the
don't allow the footbridge to be used. That's why.
no. Now, actually, sir, what's happening right now there? Before this, before the record, before I recorded one, they
Uh-huh.
already dismantling the footbridge.
Oh my. Oh
So
my.
it's not a really construction or retrofitting.
No. It's dismantling. They want to remove it already.
You want to remove because no one is using it.
Because no one's using actually.
Okay. So in that case,
I,
if they have no footbridge, you can put the refuge island both side, no? Not
Okay,
north
sir.
and south, no?
Refuge
I don't know.
with
I
cross
actually
timer.
I don't know what's happening to the government. Why they're just
Policies
wasting
are not
money. I don't.
informed.
That's
Yeah.
super strange.
Yeah.
Feasibility is not checked.
Okay. That's
Okay,
the
Okay.
situation. Mm-mm.
so
Yeah. It is interesting. I believe this video will have more impact if you, because this is the same video. So you, unlike paper that you only can send to Word journal, right? But video you can spread to any social media, You can put this video in Facebook, in your TikTok, in your YouTube. Okay. Anyway, you make it already, and it is.
Dr. Cardi, my
Hey,
plan is if this is already okay, I will post it to the Facebook of the local government
go,
of the Santa
go,
Rosa.
go. You can. I think it's okay. This is very good. Okay. So my point is this. Instead of paper who nobody will read actually.
Okay. Nobody reads.
And this short video, I think will have more impact.
Yeah,
Yes,
especially
I
on
agree.
the politicians. They
Yes.
want visuals.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I think this is the new trend, no? So we need to go with this kind of way.
From Sintra boards to TikTok.
Yeah. I agree. So that's
Oh,
why I'm going to post it to the Facebook of LGU. So that's
go,
why they
go, go.
No, I'm just kidding, sir. I'm just kidding.
No, for me, even if the video is not good, you can post it, okay, and then you get feedback, then you can improve. No problem. This is unlike paper. You only publish one time, right? So this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
your own account, so you have control over your own account.
Yes.
That's totally different.
And we can also see the comments, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
that's why I'm thinking, okay, our education system need to change, instead of publishing paper, yeah, maybe we need to publish real.
Yeah.
Yeah, also to make it more interesting
Yeah,
Yeah.
to the audience, not just to the academics.
I know it takes quite some time to make this.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Jello,
kudos
for
to
doing that
Jello,
one.
sir.
Huh?
Jello
So,
did the
Jello is
painstaking service.
sleepless nights. Doing this.
Do you
He's
use
actually now a full-fledged content creator.
super?
He can be.
Yes. So you have a good future.
All right.
All
Okay.
right. Okay. Thank you very much. I think you can just upload and this is great. Okay.
Okay, sir.
I,
We'll still try to make adjustments, sir, especially the
yes. If you
policy
want to update,
implementation.
you can update. If you have no time, you just put this and then update later when you really want to update for because this is your account, your own name. So
Mhm.
it is the way for you to influence the publics. Correct. So
So you're already at home, Archie.
Yeah, I just arrived. Sorry. That's why I'm using my phone.
yeah. So if you can start this is like a small step. So but after this, I think you will make more. Even nobody asks you, you will make it.
Mm.
Okay. I
Until
mean, based on their,
creator.
of course, based on their comments and so on, right? Yeah. So
Yep.
yeah. So one thing I want you to remember is if you get bad comment, okay, remember that even if bad comment, that means engagement doesn't matter. Don't care about that.
In addition, sir, if they put a bad comment, it means that there's an impact from them
Exactly,
for them.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cognitive dissonance.
Whether it is positive comment or bad comment, you don't need to care. But
Yeah.
it's a comment that it is better than someone ignore you.
Yeah. You don't know. You don't know the ano eh, if
Yeah,
it's good or bad.
exactly. Okay. So bad comment is good, no problem. Okay.
Oh.
So don't get discouraged just because someone else telling bad comments to you.
All right.
That's the
Thank
only
you, sir.
point. Thank you. Yes.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
We can pass
Super.
it
All
now.
right. So
Just the paper, sir. We're almost done. Just the paper.
yes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you, Dr.
What is the second one? What do you actually showing in the
The
second?
second reel, sir, is the AHP process.
The process.
The one I've showed earlier. The last one, sir, is the sensitivity analysis.
I see. Okay.
And then some concluding remarks.
Yes. So if you want, you can look at the impact from your work. Okay. But once you make it, okay, and you feel encouraged to do so, don't just make three. You can continue to make more with the same from the same paper. Anyway, from the same paper.
Transport blogging.
Yeah. So that I think this is the way to educate the public also.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah.
You can garner public opinion and
Right.
then attention from policymakers.
Correct. So
Possibly.
I hope
Especially
you
if
can get
Archie gonna post it to the LGU page.
if you put in your LinkedIn, I will put
You will you
I
will
will share it. I will
can
share
you
it.
yeah, you will comment, sir. You will comment.
Yeah.
I will put it in my LinkedIn.
Oh,
Yeah. I'll
cool.
share it
You
to you,
tell
sir.
me,
Yeah.
and then I will comment, okay?
Yeah. I'll invite you first in my LinkedIn, sir. Yeah.
Oh, sure. And then
Yeah.
I will use AI to comment.
Good enough, sir. Good enough. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you for your time, sir, Cardi.
Well,
It's
yes,
very,
thank you.
very. Thank you for the valuable comment
Um,
from our.
No problem. Thank you very much for the semester also.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. See you
And
soon, sir. See you soon. Thank you. God bless. Thank you.
yeah, you too.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Yes.